Welcome back to North Marion Athletics, and we would like to wish all of you a Happy New Year. This is week 5 of the North Marion Athletics update and our first update of the 2012 calendar year. We thank you for playing a part in all of our success during the 2011 inaugural year, and we hope you stick with us throughout 2012 and into 2013. In this update, once again, we will be covering only the basketball programs, as they were the only teams in action over the latter half of Christmas break. Both teams got this week's action started on Wednesday. To get started with the girls' first game, here's Wyatt Moore.
Thanks, Cole. On Wednesday, the girls traveled to R.A. Long High School in Longview, Washington to play the Lumberjills. The Huskies had a dominant game, winning 41-23. Jennifer Nichols led the Huskies in points with 11. Nicole Furchin was second with 9. Jasmine Flores was the best defensive performer with 9 rebounds and 5 steals. The Huskies also committed 9 less turnovers than the Lumberjills. Now for Thursday's game, we hand it off to Logan Beiser.
Thanks, Wyatt. Thursday, the Huskies suffered a very disappointing loss to Rainier. The team had a very spread out point total with everyone who played scoring. North Marion unfortunately suffered a 41-36 loss, while their point guard dropped 25 points on the Huskies' defense. Now I hand it to Josh Hauser to do Friday.
Thanks, Logan. Friday, the Huskies found themselves playing for third place. They were looking to rebound from the tough loss against Rainier. The Huskies overpowered the Warrenton Warriors, winning 42-34. North Marion out-rebounded them as a team 47-22 and were able to score 13 more points from the foul line. Our point leader was Michaela Musin, getting all of her 10 points from the free throw line. Courtney Lee was our best rebounder, and Jasmine Flores was once again the best defender on paper. The Huskies finished the tournament in an impressive third place, and they improved to an amazing 7-2 record on the year. There's some tough competition knocking on the door this week, as you will hear all about from Wyatt and more upcoming events.
Hello once again, and thank you, Josh. After a somewhat disappointing North Marion tournament, the boys took to the court on Wednesday. The Huskies were given the nice amenity of playing in the primetime spot as the home team. They started off the tournament with a matchup against the Warrenton Warriors. The contest was evenly matched for the majority of the game until the Huskies pulled away in the fourth quarter. North Marion finished off the game with an 18-point fourth quarter to turn the close game into a double-digit easy win. The Warriors even held occasional leads throughout the first half, but North Marion picked up the intensity in the second half to coast to the victory. Sawyer Dady led the Huskies with 20 points as he was the only Husky in double figures. The win kept them in the primetime spot the following day of the tournament, where they would take on the host team, Astoria. Now I'm going to pass it off to Logan to take that game.
Thanks, Wyatt. The Fighting Fishermen have struggled to stay close in all games this season, and Thursday night was no exception, as the Huskies jumped out to a huge lead and stayed ahead after the entire game. After one quarter of play, North Marion held a comfortable 19-5 lead. The second quarter brought with it the most memorable play of the 2011-2012 season to date, as senior Kyle Martin stole a Fisherman reversal pass and emphatically dunked it on the other end. That play was the exclamation point and will be shown on highlight reels for weeks to come. The dunk only added the Huskies momentum, and by halftime, North Marion held a 27-8 lead. Astoria struggled to even graze the rim on a plethora of their shots. The Huskies slowed down the pace of the game considerably, trying to protect their lead. However, their defense was still shut down as the Fishermen ended with only 19 points on the game. North Marion posted 45 points, 11 coming from Sawyer Dady and 8 from Matt McLaren. Several of the other players contributed points here and there. The Huskies' win granted them the opportunity to compete in the championship game of the Astoria tournament. I got the pass from Wyatt, and now I'm going to alley-oop pass it to Josh.
Thanks for the dime, Beiser. The Huskies were matched up against the Roosevelt Rough Riders, who came in second place in the Huskies' own tournament last week. North Marion was plagued by turnovers when Roosevelt ran their full-court press. The Rough Riders poured in the points offensively and defeated the Huskies 76-45. Sawyer led the team once again with 16 points, and Nathan Summers followed with 11 points. Overall, North Marion had a very successful tournament as they finished as the runner-up in the tournament. The Huskies recorded 2 very promising wins to close in on the 500 mark after the tough start to the season. Now here's Cole, as he will have several different segments, and he will lead off with information on the staff athlete voting.
Thanks, guys. And concerning the staff athlete voting, after the votes have been flooding in, there are 2 people battling it out at the top. Both Kelsey Colley and Bill Crumley have been getting loads of votes, so we ask you to settle this close rate by texting in your votes. The voting closes this week, so be sure to get your vote in to 503-583-8NMA. Here's Josh for this week's North Marion Athletics FBLA High Flying Performer of the Week.
Let's go.
This week's North Marion Athletics FBLA High Flying Performer is Sawyer Dady of the boys basketball team. Sawyer led the Huskies in scoring in all 3 of the Astoria tournament games, racking up 20 points against Warrenton, 16 against Astoria, and 11 versus Roosevelt. Sawyer has always provided the spark off the Huskies' starting rotation that the team needs to compete in the game. After an all-league season last year, Sawyer has kept up the pace this season. Congratulations to Sawyer for being this week's North Marion Athletics FBLA High Flying Performer. Remember to visit Miss Iona in Room 2 at the high school for all of your balloon needs, as they are perfect for any occasion.
Let's go.
And now we move on.
We're going to show you the most dynamic play of the week and dissect it to show you what exactly happened and what the outcome was. Our first play of the week comes from the boys Astoria tournament in the game against Roosevelt on an inbounds play. To start the play, Jeremy pops out and Zach Williamson sets a screen on his man and Nathan Summers goes off of that. The second half of the play comes after Kyle inbounds it to Jeremy Parkinson, and Jeremy swings out, passes it back to the top to get it to Summers. Then after Nathan Summers gets the ball, Kyle Williamson comes off of Jeremy Parkinson's screen to get the ball at the three-point line. And from that point forward, Kyle Williamson just drains a three-pointer. We hope you enjoyed our latest segment edition. Now here is Wyatt Moore for the 3rd time, this time for more upcoming events.
Alright, well let's get right to it. We have more upcoming events from all of our sports teams this week. On Tuesday, both basketball teams play the Indians from Scappoose. The girls team travels as the boys stay home. Both varsity games will start at 7 from their respective locations. And then on Wednesday, the swimming and wrestling teams make their return from the sizable break. At 1 p.m., the swimming team competes in the Rainier Invitational in Rainier, and at 7 p.m., the wrestling team hosts Malala as league play begins. Thursday brings with it more basketball. Once again, the girls will travel away to play Yamhill Carleton, and the boys will stay home to host the Tigers. And both of the JV and varsity basketball teams head to Astoria on Saturday to play the Fighting Fishermen. Boys varsity tips off at 6:30 and girls tips off at 5. Wrestling heads south to West Albany to compete in their invitational. That time is to be determined. That's it for more upcoming events. I'm going to pass it back to Cole now.
Thanks, Wyatt. And again, it's always a pleasure to thank Young Life for sponsoring our ticker. The next club is coming up on January 23rd at 8 p.m. in the Hub. We hope to see you there. After another great week of competition, that's it for this week's North Marion Athletics Weekly Update. See you next week.